Welcome back to the San Carlos Woodcraft channel, where Turning Pro George shows us how to turn the segmented bowl he constructed in episode 1.
Now that we've finished the construction of the bowl, the stave bowl, it's time to actually turn it into a bowl by putting it on the wood lathe and going ahead and turning it up. Now you'll notice that there's a fair amount of wobble in the bowl to begin with, and that's because it's very difficult to get everything perfectly centered during the construction phase. And so that has to be accomplished on the lathe first, is to get it centered and round. And then you can work on the final shape and the final thickness of the bowl and those attributes. But the first part is generally fairly rough and is generally in terms of taking it from an octagonal shape, a polygonal shape, to a round shape. Several different kinds of tools can be used. This is a standard bowl gouge, which I'm using here. Later on, we'll switch to a different tool because of the nature of the wood we're turning. This is again all an attempt to get it, you can sort of see the lines developing where it's becoming more stable and the areas where it's still fluctuating a lot from side to side. Usually you work on the outside first, and that defines the overall shape of your bowl. Then the object is to work on the inside to define the thickness of the bowl. We're having some issues with this particular, I was using this particular tool for a while and it was a little difficult to cut with because of the nature of the curly maple that we were using in the thing. So I ended up switching over to one of the Easy Wood tools, which is the carbide cutting tools. This actually ended up giving us a much smoother surface because it was able to handle the changing grain direction in the curly maple that was the main body of the bowl. So sometimes the bowl will dictate what tools you use, and they will often dictate, the materials will dictate what kind of tools you can use and which way you use your tools. But we were able to get it finished up with the carbide tools and got a nice finish that could be sanded later with minimal effort. It looks like we've got the outside pretty well finished up, just checking for inconsistencies. Now we have to move on into the inside of the bowl. Again, you can see how the inside is wobbling relative to the outside, and that is because the inside has not been turned yet. Again, I opted to use the Easy Wood hollowing tool here because it could reach down inside, deep inside the bowl safely, especially for the bottom section. And as with other bowls, you turn from the bottom of the bowl. In this case, I'm turning from the bottom of the bowl out to the rim of the bowl. Some final scraping work that I'm doing using my tool as a scraper, a shear scraper, to help fix the finish. And here I'm using an actual scraper on the inside of the bowl. Again, the object is to get as smooth and clean a finish and a nice clean transition across the bottom of the bowl and the sides of the bowl to save you hours and hours of sanding. Now you notice that the bowl is now very even thickness, and here I'm just checking to see how straight the sides are, and here I'm checking to see if the thickness is fairly uniform as I go through the bowl. Once you're satisfied with the shape of your bowl and the thickness of your bowl and the surface that you've been able to generate with your cutting tools, then it's time to go on to sanding and finishing your bowl, and that episode will be coming out soon. See you later.